Hey, Shalom. First off, I want to give all praises unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Rakar, Kodash, Barakatham. I want to say double honor to our apostles who are elders who rule well. Blessed salutations to you brothers out there teaching and enduring truth and sincerity. I just want to get this little quick chapter of the day through, before I hit the highways. The brothers are doing the work right now. I don't know if I can flip the camera around. The brothers, getting busy, So, I'm about to get it in real quick, and then we're gonna top the night off with adding more fire to it, But I want to go into chapter Joel, the third chapter. To me, it's I'll start at chapter 2 in the last verse, and I'm gonna go straight into chapter 3, because chapter 2 verse 32 kind of leads off to the point that I want to allude to. All right, Joel chapter 2 verse 32, it says, "And it shall come to pass that whosoever shall call upon the name of the Lord shall be delivered." So when you hear that, you automatically cognitively register with whosoever call upon the name of the Lord shall be saved, meaning that you also connecting that with the second coming of the Lord. All right. It says, "For in Mount Zion and in Jerusalem shall be deliverance." And it ain't talking about the land, it's a people before it's a place. Zion is the nation of Israel, and Jerusalem is the nation of Israel. Okay, just like if you hear about, Esau try to play semantics, like, well, we were switched up, but you'll try to use that rhetoric when you comparing to Greece. You know what I'm saying? You automatically think a certain nationality of people, not the land, not the people that's in Greece, but a certain nationality. When it could be both, but in this particular situation, in a biblical situation, it's talking about the nation of Israel, okay? As the scripture says, a people before it's a place, okay? It says, "As the Lord have said, and in the remnant whom the Lord shall call." All right? "For behold, in those days and in that time, when I shall bring again the captivity of Judah and Jerusalem." Why was it again? Because there was a point in time when you go into Jeremiah, the Lord cut us off and gave us a bill of divorce. Which means we weren't under his laws. The captivity, we're under his rule. We're subject unto him. You know what I'm saying? Now, the rulership of Yahweh never changed. He's always was over us. But when you're talking about the captivity, it's not always a negative, as Esau liked to paint it. Being under the Lord's captivity is also being under his protection, being under his guide, being under his direction. Okay? It says, "I will also gather all nations and will bring them down to the valley of Jehoshaphat," or Yahweh Shaphat. And that word Jehoshaphat, Yahweh Shaphat, which is the Lord's decision or the Lord's judgment. Okay? And so he said he's going to gather all nations. And this is talking about heathens, mainly. And that gathering is mainly going to be in the land of Saudi Arabia, pertaining to when you're going back to the Middle East and the wars and by America or the NATO and the EU or a united front. They're allied with Saudi Arabia, but they're not allied with the other so-called Arabian nations, or Elam and the names escape me right now, but names escape me right now. I just can't, I'm really stuck on this, but basically those Arab nations over there, pursuant to Second Ezra, the 16th chapter, when it says that the Carmanians shall come up against them and things like that. And then you got the Valley of Decision, which is Yahweh Shaphat, Saudi Arabia. Basically, Esau has been and always been instigating a lot of tension through there, through Turkey, through Iran, Iraq, through Syria, and through Libya and things like that. And those Arab nations are very heavily vexed with the presence of Esau and Edom and the beast, you know what I'm saying, which is NATO and the EU. but Saudi Arabia is benefiting from them from the business that they profit via through the oil, okay, through the delicacies, which is that oil, and that's going to give them that neutral zone of landing, but that neutral zone landing is also going to be that valley of decision, okay. It says, and he said, I will also gather all nations, and I will bring them down into the valley of Jehoshaphat, and will plead with them there for my people and for my heritage, Israel, whom they have scattered among the nations. So that proves that one thing is that we've been scattered among the nations. So when the Lord says, and then our people came from many nations and tongues and things like that, that's proven that we were scattered toward all nations. It's amazing that these Babylonian Christians and these modern Christianity always, when they hear nation, they always just go with the pronoun of the word and not the context of the Bible. When the Lord sat there and said he scattered us he scattered us amongst many nations. So if he say directly, I'm only dealing with you, Israel, and then says the people of all kindreds and tongues, then you put two and two together. The Bible is not inconsistent. When you say that, you're implying that the Bible is inconsistent, which is not true. It says, and they have cast lots for my people, and have given and bought for an harlot, and sold a girl for wine, that they might drink. So that's going back into what? Slavery, on what they did, and from the Arabs, even all the way to Esau, from selling us for wine, for muskets, for things like that. It says, yea, and what have ye to do with me, O Tyre and Zidon, and all the coast of Palestine, because the Palestinians are also the Arab nations. Now you got Esau, the Amalekites over there, but the Palestinians are renowned for being the Arab nations, okay? It says, and if ye recompense me swiftly and speedily, will I return recompense upon your own head, because ye have taken my silver and my gold, and have carried it into your temples, my goodly pleasant things. So one thing you got is twofold. They not only sacked the temple, guarding to the Ark of Titus, and the Caesars, the ruling Caesars that he basically was campaigning for his rulership, and he basically normally Caesars would regard themselves as deities, but he uses military might and his conquering abilities to persuade the people, and it was in a financial distress also, and so he used that situation to of sacking the temple and destroying the temple, because Nebuchadnezzar, name escapes me, but Nebuchadnezzar in that situation pursuant to the Ark of Titus, those were the two times that the temple was sacked and destroyed. Like they said, they threw a burning log into the temple, and that bursted into flames. Where you had Antiochus, in the time of Antiochus, the temple was, I believe the temple was already down by then. No, the temple wasn't down. The temple wasn't down. Antiochus took the riches out of the temple, but he didn't tear it down. He desecrated it through sacrificing swine, but actually destroying the temple. That was through Nebuchadnezzar and through the situation with the Ark of Titus. Okay, and then the twofold is also we're the silver and the gold, and they carried it into their temples and to their place of worship, which is their lands, their countries, and basically their ideologies and their ways of life. Okay, and I ain't gonna say like they carried us into their ways of life. They basically took us into America and brainwash our people into being Americans. So that's what I mean by being in their temple. Says the children also of Judah and the children of Jerusalem have ye sold unto the Grecians, that ye might remove them far from their border. And that's exactly what that pertains, is connecting. And the Lord's is basically culminating. So when Esau sit there and say, oh, that's the past, the Lord requires the past. The Lord required everything that Esau did unto us in the slavery. You can't overlook that. The Lord said he shall judge your fathers, for the children shall be judged for the iniquities of their fathers. That's very simple. It says, behold, I will raise them out of the place whither ye have sold them, and will return your recompense upon your own heads. How he raised us up, we're coming back into being, knowing that we're Israelites, and realizing that we are the nation of Israel, and we're doing something about it by prophesying against great countries and many kingdoms. It says, and I will sell your sons and your daughters into the hand of the children of Judah, and they shall sell them to the Sabians, to a people far off, for the Lord has spoken. For the Lord has spoken of it. So when you go to Revelation, it's like it for rushing it. But when you go into Revelation, say, he that go into captivity shall be ye that give into captivity, ye that have started captivity shall be given into captivity. Ye have destroyed with sword, be killed with the sword. You know what I'm saying? Basically, yeah, leave into captivity shall go into captivity. Slakia. So that's automatically telling you the transition. This justifies the transition. And then it also said that this shall happen. They shall be sold to who? And it says, ye shall lead into captivity, shall go into captivity. This is telling you who. It's telling you about the children of Judah, which is synonymous with children of Israel, because Judah is the head tribe. And then also it says, ye shall be sold to the Sabians. So when you're under our captivity, we're going to sell you and separate you and split you from your family and do those things that was most horrendous. And as long as it's within the scriptures, you're going to get twofold, okay? I'm not saying what's in the scriptures, I'm talking about what is lawful, okay? Because Esau was doing some wicked shit, like unlawful things unto our people. So that's a big difference, all right? It says, proclaim ye this among the Gentiles, prepare war, wake up the mighty men, let all the men of war draw near, let them come up, beat your plowshares into swords and your pruning hooks into spears. Let the weak say, I am strong. Assemble yourselves and come all ye heathen, and gather yourselves together round about thither, cause thy mighty ones to come down, O Lord. Let the heathen be weakened and come up to the valley of Jehoshaphat or Jehoshaphat, for there will I sit to judge all the heathen round about. So that even clarifies as is definitely talking about the heathen. It ain't just talking about, everybody's, no, it's talking about heathen. It ain't talking about just non-believers. It's specifically talking about heathen, non-Israelites. Because all these nations had a part in putting us in slavery and touching of the apples eye, Yahweh Shem Yahushai. It says, put ye in the sickle, for the harvest is ripe. Come, get down, for the press is full. The vats overflow, for their wickedness is great. That's right, because all these things that has been done is great in itself, and the things that are continuing to be done. Because even to this day, all these nations come here, the Moabites and Japhites and Ammonites and Hamites, they all come to this country, still looking down on us, still looking at us in a condescending manner, because Esau painted the narrative of us being at a lower state through the curses. Okay. It says, multitudes in the valley of decision, for the day of the Lord is near in the valley of decision, which is Jehoshaphat or Jehoshaphat. The sun and the moon shall be darkened, and the stars shall withdraw their shining. What is that talking about? It ain't going to be no scriptures. It ain't going to be all that. It's going to be fishes turning to hunters. Okay? The Lord also shall roar out of Zion and utter his voice from Jerusalem, and the heavens, and the earth shall shake. But the Lord will be the hope of his people and the strength of the children of Israel. So shall ye know that I am the Lord, your power, dwelling in Zion, not the whole world, my holy mountain, which is government. Then shall Jerusalem be holy, and there shall no strangers pass through her any more. And it shall come to pass in that day that the mountains shall drop down new wine, and the hills shall flow with milk, and all the rivers of Judah shall flow with waters, and the fountains, and a fountain shall come forth of the house of the Lord, and shall water the valley of Shittim. Egypt shall be a desolation, and Edom shall be a desolate wilderness, for the violence against the children of Judah, because they have shed innocent blood in their land. But Judah shall dwell forever, and Jerusalem from generation to generation. For I will cleanse their blood that have not cleansed, for the Lord dwelleth in Zion. Very simple. The Lord is only dealing with Israel. The Lord's going to bring salvation to Israel. The Lord's going to bring redeemers, put us back in our land, and give us that rulership that we are deserving. You know, and I won't even say deserving. That's an overstatement that He promised to us, which is a proper statement. So with that being said, I want to say call halal to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Makar Kodash. I want to say double honor to our apostles, who are elders, who rule well. Blessed salutations to your brothers at the teaching and enduring truth, sincerity. Hey, shalom.